Alrighty. Howdy neighbors and welcome back to the Devine Speaker. Last time we saw how Emil got Nikos to take him to Oxibor so that way he could try to find Rain. And we're going through the journey right now. So let's continue.
Go home, Nikos. I've already dragged you this far, and for what? He's gone.
And leave you all alone after last night? I'll at least see you to sit, KM. But no chance we'll be walking.
Emil's eyes found the ground. Guilt overwhelmed him. What had he done to deserve this kindness? All he did was threaten him and force him to come along.
I have an idea. Follow me.
I just love the ostrich. The two walked side by side with the outskirts of town. Wagons and horses were strewn about, being packed by merchants and travelers alike.
We'll hitch a ride. Even by wagon, it'll take a few days to get there.
Who would be kind enough to...
You're looking for a ride to Sid KM?
Oh, hello, Lilith.
Well, hello there, young miss. We are indeed. Are you heading in that direction?
I am. I have extra room if you want.
Are you sure?
She nodded slowly.
Please, get in. It's a long journey, and I'd rather leave now.
Both of them climbed into the back and made themselves comfortable.
What's all this? Are you a merchant?
In a sense, I'm delivering some goods. If you're easily upset, I wouldn't recommend digging through those boxes.
We know what she sells. Happiness.
Noted. I'll keep my hands to myself.
It needn't be mentioned, but I'll be going around the Amaranth Forest. It will take an extra day's travel.
You'd have a death wish going through it. Around it is.
We happened to go through it. And Fawn almost killed Sign.
I haven't been to Sit KM in years. Have you ever been?
No, never. When I was younger, I made a promise to someone that we'd travel there together one day.
Thinking about that traitor again?
Really? Haven't had the chance yet?
He died. I had no wish to go without him, so I never did.
I think you'll like it. Think of it as a trip in his memory.
The trip was long and arduous. Oh my god. I kept reading it as a B, and I was like, how do I read that? When they finally arrived to Sid Cam, and Emil stepped out into the snow, he was amazed. Amazed, but saddened. It's beautiful. I believe you were here to see it too.
Huh?
I said, if only he were here to see it too.
What?
For once no one answered him. No one spoke to him or cleared his mind. It was completely dead silent. For the first time in his life.
You two traveled all this way together? That's, unexpected.
I'm full of surprises. Anyway, I'm sure my poor neglected inn is missing me, so I'll be off now. Rain, Emil, you should both stop by sometime. Bring your friends, too. Especially Fawn. His singing voice would bring in the whole crowd alone.
With a wave, he left the building. Bye, Nikos!
Oh, for the love of... Are you happy now? You think I'm such a sad, useless idiot I can't even find my own way here? Fine. Think whatever you want.
To be fair, I thought that you were a sad, useless idiot since the beginning, but I mean, whatever.
Actually, I was just thinking that it made you seem a little more human. I hope I get the chance to visit with everyone again.
Well, I didn't expect to see you two together. Not trying to kill each other this time, right?
The door swings open, Caspian stepped in.
Caspian, I've made my decision. I think it's time for me to go home.
I expected as much. What about your friends?
I guess they were too busy.
Looked for Leos and smiled, glad to have him by my side. He smiled in return, but I could tell something was off. Caspian frowned, a crease forming in his forehead.
They didn't say goodbye, did they? There's time to find them first, you know. You don't have to leave in such a rush.
If you're leaving with me, then we're going now.
Well, feck off.
Emil, have some sympathy.
If he wishes to waste time over such things, then he's free to. I'm not waiting around.
Left the building first, not even turning to check if we were following.
Sorry about him. He's always been a little... moody. It's just gotten worse with age by the looks of it. Why don't you two take a minute to say goodbye? I'll deal with Emil.
Caspian followed him outside, leaving me alone with Leos.
I suppose I was wrong after all.
Looks like it.
It doesn't happen often, so you better savor it.
Leos,
Don't say goodbye.
Why?
I don't know if I could take it.
Then I won't say goodbye. Because this isn't goodbye. I'll be back.
At some point, he reached up to place a hand on top of my head. He ruffled my hair lightly before moving his palm down my cheek. Then he pinched it hard.
Hey!
Isn't this all a little too emotional?
I thought we were having a moment.
We can all think different things.
There will be plenty of time for moments later. Right?
Yeah.
You're so like Leos. He gets so easily embarrassed. He can't help but cover it up with sarcasm. There really was no need for any lengthy goodbye, yet heavy feelings sunk over my heart. Is this the right choice? There's an awkward air between Caspian and Emil as we prepared to depart. As if they both had something they wanted to say to each other, but neither wanted to be the first to speak up. The streets were still bare, darkened by the overcast sky.
Well, I guess this is it.
I wanted to say something to Leos. Anything really. Even if it wasn't goodbye. Felt like it was. Will I really see him again? I opened my mouth, but I felt as though there was a lump in my throat and nothing would come out.
Leos!
Fancy seeing you here, Emilius.
With hair as dark as night and striking red eyes, an unknown man suddenly approached, smiling widely at Emil, who just stared back in confusion. His stance was casual and collected. The kind of person who could go anywhere, look as if he owned the place. Instantly I felt a prickle at the back of my neck.
That voice.
Instantly Leos took my hand and pulled me behind him. He stood between the mysterious man and me, frowning deeply.
Do I know you?
That hurts. How could you forget your mentor that easily? After everything I've done for you? My oh my, I think I might just cry.
Me too, honey.
My teacher is long dead. You stand to gain nothing by pretending to be him.
And who do we have here? Rain, isn't it? The new young master speaker. Oh wait, just an orphan, right? I definitely see Emil in you. So bright-eyed, so easily controlled. I think we'd get along very well indeed.
You!
He stepped to the side, and Caspian went skidding to the ground. With a laugh, the dark-haired man shrugged his shoulders.
We're getting out of here.
Wait, what's going on?
You're the one that approached me, aren't you?
Ah, Leos. I almost didn't notice you there.
He's like the most prominent one.
How do you know my name?
Oh, how cold of you. I've known you since you were a baby, and that's the kind of treatment I get.
Leos tensed up in front of me, squeezing my hand tighter by the moment.
What kind of stupid joke are you trying to pull? Don't bother trying to bullshit us. You couldn't possibly be him!
Guys, there's no need to be aggressive. What's going on?
Really? Well, I guess I need to have a word with myself then. Just what are these memories that plague me? Oh, I can see it as clear as day. Our young master speaker, trailing behind the princeling, forever in his shadow. The two of them sneaking off into the forest, and Oh, what's this? They come back to chaos, to death and destruction. Please, tell me, if I can't be your mentor, then who am I? Oh, fledgling prince, I should thank you. At least that woman you brought back was good for something. Her aim with the blade was phenomenal. I died nearly instantly.
You couldn't be. How?
You son of a bitch. Didn't do enough damage the first time around, and now you're back for more?
My, you certainly do prattle a lot, don't you? I was graciously presented this body, and I'm not one to turn down a kind offer.
Please. Please, I'm begging you, tell me it's not true. You didn't do it, did you?
It? What? Help the royal family meet their demise? Of course I did.
Love that for you, buddy.
You were an idiot for thinking any differently.
No! I trusted you. Everything I did, everything that happened, it was because of you. If not for you, he and I, we never would have.
Could have lived happily ever after? Don't make me laugh. You were an accident waiting to happen. I just gave you a nudge in the right direction. It's not my fault you're gullible, honestly. I thought you and the fledgling prince were closer than that, but I guess not. You two were so easily broken apart. Well, that's just how it goes. Kings and speakers have never gotten along.
Just what are you?
He laughed, ignoring Caspian's question. And what a laugh it was.
I've enjoyed following you around all these years, Emilius. The way you've suffered, it's delicious. It's just a shame that you've always been such a disappointment. Why didn't you go through with killing Rain when I told you to? One command from you, and he could have been hanging within minutes.
It was you then. That loud voice that boomed over the others. The one that followed me outside of Aurelia Cavella.
Perhaps it was, perhaps it wasn't.
Why are you here? What do you want?
He nodded his head. Two people stepped out of the shadows. One with blue hair, the other with blonde.
Vaughn, sign!
What have you done to them?
Shh. They're sleeping. You wouldn't want to wake them, would you?
You'll let them go now if you value your life.
I can't say I do, actually.
That's not funny. It's not funny. Let go of me. Leos was in front of Lucius in less than a second. Here's his hand, which already clutched a dagger that glittered in the afternoon light, swung it at the man who easily caught his wrist. He smiled at Leos, an uneasy smile that made me feel sick.
Let go of him!
You fucker, what are you playing at?
That's really no way to speak to your superior.
You mean nothing to me.
Yeah, nah.
After everything I did for you,
I don't know you.
your judgment, my work, your upbringing, a simple command to your parents, and they did exactly what I asked.
Ah, feck off, dude.
I created the ultimate killing machine, one without feelings, who would serve me forever. Well, that's what was supposed to happen, but I died, and you... You ended up somewhat of a failure, didn't you?
Just like that, his wrist was released and he stumbled back toward me. I quickly caught his back and steadied him, throwing daggers at the man.
He's not a failure. You know nothing about him.
Whatever you say, Leos. There's an empty place at my side if you take it.
As if I ever would.
Not afraid of your destiny anymore?
Huh.
Deep down, you're just as heartless and cold as I am. These people don't matter to you.
You're wrong!
I sat down in front of Leos, whose back looked as if it had begun to shrink before my very eyes. He suddenly seemed small and fragile, as if every one of this man's pointed words were hitting their mark.
Should you really be trusting someone with so much blood on their hands?
I trust him with my life.
You shouldn't. He's hiding things from you, just as you're hiding things from him.
Don't lie to me!
The man shrugged, as if he didn't care what I had to say.
Here.
Something metallic spun slowly toward us, and Leos easily plucked it easily from the sky. A dagger, as dark as night. Running down the blade was a symbol and a few characters.
My family crest. How?
I wonder, Take it as proof of just how well I know you.
Look back toward Fawn and Sign. Both of their faces were absent of any emotion. I waved my hands at them, but neither responded.
I think these two will come in handy later. But for now, I'm really sorry, but the three of you are in the way of my plans. Really, I apologize for this, but I can't let you live, okay?
Okay. I understand your reasoning.
Okay. No, it's not okay.
Sorry, I wasn't asking for your permission.
One step at a time, he made his way closer to me. He wasn't like Varys. He wasn't like Nox. No, he was far more powerful. The air came alive around him, crackling. I took Leos' hand in mine, looking around desperately for anywhere else for us to hide, anything I could do. Only one thing that I'm good at.
Run!
Pulling on Leos' hand, we turned and broke into a sprint. I could see Emil and Caspian did the same behind us, and we quickly turned to a dark alleyway to escape the black-haired man.
I don't think so.
Find somewhere safe.
Feck yeah!
Varys?
Swirl of pink and green. Two people stood between us and the black-haired man.
Ilrun! Varys!
This is becoming a habit, isn't it? Swooping in at the last moment to save you.
I stopped in my tracks, pulling Leos to a halt.
For once, I'm glad to see you.
Oh, be still, my beating heart.
Thank the gods it is. What are you doing here?
We noticed something was wrong and searched for you. I'm sorry we took so long.
No time to talk, though. Run along for now, and we'll catch up later.
Okay. Be careful.
I don't think.
No one asked you.
Damn. We turned around and ran. We weren't sure exactly where to go, but anywhere was better than here. We rushed out of the alley, back toward the bright open street, where we came face to face with someone I hadn't expected to run into.
Zarin!
You all seem to be in quite the rush. Is something the matter?
He looked between our faces, from Leos' face, which had turned into a deep frown, to Emil and Caspian's, who looked as if their world had come crashing down around
Something
them.
indeed seems to be the matter. Quickly, let's return to my lab.
Thank you.
The harrowing smirk instantly fell from his face, as he looked at the two that stood in front of him, ruining his fun.
What do you want? You're getting in the way.
Who are you? What have you done to those two?
Why do you think you have the right to appear in front of me? Two people so insignificant as you. A washed-up, powerless god, and a domesticated fox with his tail between his legs, following along quietly.
You were asked a question. Who are you, and where did you come from?
So demanding. I suppose I can play along for the moment. If I had to pick a name, well, might as well go with my old one, Lucius.
Lucius? I can't say I've heard of you.
I would think you haven't, since I ascended after the gods were locked inside of Aurelia Cavella.
What are you the god of? What exactly are you governing?
Isn't that obvious? The god of all gods. The one that will finally whip this world into a state worth ruling.
Being speaker not enough, huh?
My ambitions are much higher than that.
He's not lying. I never met someone with so much power in their aura.
I'll kill anyone that opposes me, including the two living speakers. Can't have them messing up my fun, can I?
What about the gods trapped in Aurelia Cavella?
Oh, them? Let them rot. I never liked them much anyway. Always yelling and screaming over just a little torture. I'll build a new world where they aren't needed. New gods can take their places and rule beside me.
What, ones that will agree to serve you?
If that's how you want to think about it.
Everyone's voice was full of anger, barely
I'm
contained.
sorry, but I can't let you do that.
Oh, and what will the useless god do about it?
I don't wish to fight, but I'll fight if I must.
Ilron!
Well, that was easy.
It happened before Varys had a chance to act. A flash of light came flying at him, but it didn't hit his mark. It hit Elrond, who reacted almost instantly, jumping in front of the peach-haired god.
Ilron! Ilron, what are you doing?
I'm fine.
Before him, Varys was graced by the very thing he dreaded more than anything else, and he felt powerless to stop it. He ran forward and took Elrond's hand, pulling him away from Lucius in the direction that Rain had fled.
Run all you want. There's nowhere you can hide from me.
You idiot! What were you thinking?
I owed you one. You took that hit for me in Oxabor. Don't tell me this is what makes you finally lose your cool. It's not that bad. It'll heal right up.
And what if it doesn't? You're too reckless.
So are you. If this were the other way around, you would have done the same thing.
I heal much faster than you, Ilron. It's my job to protect humans, not the other way around.
I try not to sweat the details.
I wouldn't, not in this case.
Ilron, I can't handle this. Please, if something happened to you because of me...
What difference does it make? I'll die eventually anyway. And I'd rather it be for you than something boring like old age.
Varys' fingertips tightened around Elrond's, and he brought the other's fingers up to his mouth and pressed his lips against them.
Please, Elrond. I don't ask much of you, but please don't die.
Well, I probably can't stop it in the long term, but I'll try my best to survive this one, at the very least.
To Varys, this was the worst nightmare. The one who meant the most to him, the one who changed his life, in pain because of him. His life is so short, so fragile. To a god that's lived for thousands of years, it would already passed by in only a moment. The idea of it being cut even shorter. Tears silently rolled down his face, but he kept running with Elrond in tow, desperate to find Rain. Zar's study was as much as I remembered it, warm and inviting, and unlike what I imagined a lab to be. He quickly shut the door behind us and lit the fire, while Caspian and Emil collapsed on the couch.
What exactly is going on?
I don't know where to start.
I frowned, a worry deep in my heart for Elrond and Varys.
I think he was the speaker, wasn't he? The one that died. Lucius.
With Caspian, Emil froze up at hearing his name.
It couldn't possibly be, could it?
Yet he knew too much. He spoke just like him.
How could he possibly be alive?
There's no way he lived. I saw him die with my own eyes.
Yeah, it's definitely him. His voice may have changed, but the sneer in his voice hasn't.
You really did know him?
I would hear his voice through my door, talking to my parents.
The door was thrown open with a thud, and Varys stumbled in, barely holding up Elrond. Blood was dripping from his shoulder, and his face was a mask of pain.
Please, I need a bandage.
Ilron, Varys, let me collect Titus.
Don't! You shouldn't get involved with this. It's far too dangerous.
Then leave it to me. It's been a while, but I'm still a healer nonetheless.
He rushed into the room further inside the building, leaving me alone with the others. Varys carefully set down Elrond in the armchair facing the fire, his face filled with terror.
What happened to him?
Just a light scratch.
Yeah, that's what that is.
He attacked us. I couldn't react fast enough. Oh, shit. Elrond, please be okay.
For once, Varys lost composure, swearing as tears formed in the corners of his eyes.
I can answer your question.
Please, just stay quiet while I try to patch you up.
He's a god. He either forcefully took that body, or someone offered it to him.
God. But how? Isn't he human?
Zarin came rushing back into the room, his arms filled with tinctures, bandages, and other healing items. I always thought of him as too calm, too collected to rush, but it turned out I was wrong.
Ilron, you better start explaining yourself, and quickly.
Varys took some of the supplies, and the two of them began to patch Elrond up. His shirt had already begun to turn deep red, and I had to look away as they examined the wound. Both Emil and Caspian looked between each other unsure of who these newcomers were. Quickly, I explained everything in short. Who and what they were, how they'd helped us before, even as far as talking about gods and demons. Ilron added to the conversation and finally told the truth to Zarin. They were stunned quiet the entire time. Of course, Emil already knew gods existed. He spoke with them on a regular basis, but he had no clue about the Aurelian War, or the gods falling and taking mortal bodies.
All this time, exactly what I was looking for was right under my nose. A god walking amongst us.
I apologize for keeping it a secret, Zarin. It wasn't my intention to deceive you.
But look what you did.
You were only protecting your way of life. I would have done the same.
I'm sure Titus would be disappointed with me.
Nonsense. You know he's always idolized you. As he will continue to. I won't tell him a thing.
Thank you, Zarin.
He frowned deeply, as if something on his mind was troubling him.
If I don't return, promise me. Tell him I'm proud of him.
I think you had best just return. But I can do that much. Now, tell me of this Lucius. What did he look like?
Tall, dark hair, red eyes.
The advisor to the king himself. Or his body, at the very least. He was always the power-hungry type, and it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if he offered his body up to a demon. With the power that comes from his position, he could have had the city in the palm of his hand easily.
No.
But I won't leave him unchecked. I'll report to the king and try to keep him under control. At least until you can figure out what to do.
Zarin, thank you.
Now, back to the topic at hand. I suppose it's about time I told you the truth. We aren't born as gods. We all ascended from mortal beings after our deaths.
What stops someone from becoming a god then? Can anyone do it?
No, it's those that have a widespread influence. That could be for good reasons, of course. A person loved by the world and remembered passionately might ascend and become a god. But the opposite is also true. Enough fear and hatred does the same thing.
Fear and hatred? That's all he ever was.
He's powerful. More so than any other god or demon I've ever met. Nox looks like nothing next to him.
You pressed a medical plant into Ilron's wound, and he gasped in pain.
I don't have the power to oppose him. No one in Sid Kaim does.
I trusted him more than anyone. I thought, but it was him. The one that chased away the massive voices always swirling around in my mind. The one that followed me out of Aurelia Cavella. If only I had control of my abilities then.
Gods can attach their souls to a human without taking their body. It's unreliable and leaves them powerless, but it's doable. It's a way for them to survive without a body, and without dying.
That's it.
It's the same as the voice you've been hearing, isn't it?
Exactly. The woman's voice that has been calling out to me in my dreams since I left Aurelia Cavella. She must have been the same. She warned me that someone's been following me. When I saw the speaker, I thought it was probably him, but it was about Lucius, I'm sure of it. And she was an Aurelian god too.
I think you could be right. She was trying to help you. To protect you.
She's gone now, though.
She might have drawn Lucius to you if she stuck around. But...
But?
If she's not connected to you, then...
Don't jump to conclusions before we know all the facts.
You're right. I need to think about this properly.
Yes, because every part of this makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here because what the hell? This is all a nightmare. So anyway, thank you very much for watching and hopefully I will see you later.